Cool.
And starting the live event. Go ahead.
Hi everyone, welcome to week 4 of the UAA conference. Just as a quick reminder, after this first session, we'll be doing the final session, which is our second keynote speaker. So please stay tuned for that, or rather log into that. For this presentation, we'll be having Janice Thacker and Tara Golding present from BYU a presentation on powerful moments create inspired advisement.
Hey, hi everybody. My name is Janice Thacker, and I'm here with Tara Golding. Both Tara and I work in the Education Advisement Center at BYU, which is in the McCabe School of Education. So we work with pre-service teachers, and we love our job and we love working in the Education Advisement Center. But today we're going to talk about how we discovered or how we use powerful moments to create inspired advisement. So that's kind of where our presentation goes today. If we were together in a room and we could have a conversation back and forth, I would ask, for some feedback. But what is a powerful, or feedback to this question, but what is a powerful or memorable experience from your life? What are some things that you remember from your life? What are those moments of your life that stick out, that are memorable enough, or that you'll so, and if you want to go ahead and put those in the chat, I'd love to see what you come up with and what your thoughts are. But we're going to be talking about powerful moments today, and these are okay. So these are kind of the ones that we kind of came up with when we did this presentation earlier. These are the moments that come to mind. The birth of your first child, maybe when you graduate from college or high school, or maybe you hike to the top of the or Mount Timpanogos, or maybe you run your first marathon, or your wedding. Those are the moments that we tend to remember and that stand out in our lives. These words show big moments that mark the timelines of our lives. And so we started thinking about, so now as we present today, I want you guys to think about, do we have a timeline of moments in our work life? Do we have a timeline of moments with our families? What about our students, the students that we advise? What is a big moment in their school life? Maybe not necessarily their lives, but what are their big moments in their programs at your university? Okay. So, in the summer of 2018, Tara and I attended a presentation that we presented on.
Janice, can you maybe come closer and talk louder?
Oh, sure. Sorry. So, Tara and I, in the summer of 2018, attended a presentation given by Jenny Bloom about the power of moments. And is that better? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I think it's better.
Okay. So she talked about being present and engaged, and she referred to the book, The Power of Moments by Chip, Steve, and Dan. So Tara got the book from the library, she read it, she loved it, and then she encouraged the rest of us in our advisement center to read it. And we jumped on the bandwagon and loved it as well. But The Power of Moments is about why certain brief experiences can build us and elevate us and change us, and how we can learn to create such ordinary moments in our life and in our work. And so it got us thinking about how we can create moments within our office, like with our office staff and to improve our office culture, and with the students we advise. And this is a quote from the book. We must learn to think in moments to spot the occasions that are worthy of investment. In organizations, we are consumed with goals. But for an individual human being, moments are the thing. Moments are what we remember and what we cherish. And in advisement, we are all about the person, all about the student. And, it's very student-centered. And so this book really spoke to us about how we can be even more student-centered and really create these powerful moments in our office and with the students that we advise. Okay, the book shares 4 defining elements of a powerful moment. And they use 4, the 4 elements are elevation, pride, insight, and connection. So elevation, these moments make us feel engaged and joyful. They help us to feel motivated. And we create moments of elevation by boosting our sensory appeal, or boosting sensory appeal, and if possible, maybe add an element of surprise. In the book, it talks about breaking the script, like just shaking things up a little bit. The book uses an example of the Magic Castle Hotel in Los Angeles. I actually looked up this hotel this morning, and sure enough, it has like 4.7 stars out of over 1,000 reviews. And the hotel itself is nothing special. It's an old apartment complex that they turned into a hotel/motel, and it's painted like canary yellow. But what makes it so fun and amazing is they have things like they have a popsicle hotline. And when you're at the pool, you can get on the phone on the popsicle hotline and call, and somebody, a hotel worker, will bring you a popsicle to the pool on a silver platter, and they're all dressed up nice. So that's just one little example of how they use sensory appeal to kind of elevate that moment. And so they have a lot of other examples that they use, but that's elevation. Pride, there's a few strategies to deliver pride. Recognizing other people's achievements and hard work. I think about 80% of employees, if they quit a job, it's because they feel like they're not validated. They feel unvalidated, or there's a lack of appreciation. Another way to create a powerful moment with pride is to multiply meaningful milestones. So take a big project, break it down into smaller, manageable chunks, and then celebrate the completion of each of those manageable chunks. Insight, these are the defining moments that rewire our understanding of ourselves and of the world. And it's one of those moments where in a few seconds, we realize something that could influence the next, our whole lives. That moment where, oh my goodness, I really feel called to be a teacher. I'm going to be a teacher. Or, or maybe a big decision that you're making, and suddenly it's so clear, and you absolutely know how you should move forward. Those are moments, or powerful moments of insight. Connection. So moments of connection are what are sorry, let me start over. Moments of connection bond us together. These moments are social, such as weddings and graduations and baptisms and vacations and work triumphs. Like maybe we have a big project and we work really hard together and we accomplish it together and we celebrate that. That is a moment that we won't forget. But these moments through connection, they are strengthened because we share them with other people. Okay, so that's kind of the basis of our presentation. And so we're going to show you, here's our outcomes. we're going to show you some ways that we use these 4 elements. Yeah, those 4 elements. Elevation, pride, insight, and connection to create powerful moments in our office, with our staff, and then also in our advisement center, and then also with the students that we advise. So these are our presentation outcomes. And so, you know, why is what we're sharing with you today, why is this important? And I think it's important because research shows, Eric Barker said that research shows that when older people look back on their lives, a disproportionate number of their big moments happened in a very narrow window between the ages of 15 and 30. So these are the students that we're working with. They are having these big moments. Okay, so these are our presentation outcomes. So we hope to share with you what we have done in our office and how the Education Advisement Center has used powerful moments to improve our purpose and our vision of the EAC, and then also improve and create moments for our students that we advise. Okay, I'm going to turn the time over to Tara, and she is going to take it from here for a little bit.
Okay, so for me, well, we talked about phase 1, which we thought phase 1 should work with our office structure. What motivates you about your job or your community job or your home life or your school life? And what things do you look forward to at work? And then what past moments do you remember about school, work, or home life? And so use the chat to share with us some of your ideas about those questions. And I'll continue talking because there's like a little bit of a delay, between 45 seconds delay between you typing and me talking. So I'm just going to keep talking, and we want you to share in the chat. For me, it is meeting with students and helping them connect with their choice of major. I want to see them get excited about it. And then we also want to be able to talk the tough, ask the tough questions about what they want to do with their future. Seeing our students go through this journey is something amazing for us, and we get to play a small part of that. And so my landmarks tend to match the student landmarks. And do the students even recognize that there's landmarks within their 4-year or 5-year career here in school? One example of creating moments in the book that stuck with me, because I have kids that are competitive athletes and dancers. Think about if you were an athlete or a dancer and you practice every day, hours and hours every day. Imagine all of those hours and days just leading to more hours and hours and days without any kind of a landmark in there. Imagine never playing a game if you've practiced a sport, or never dancing on the stage. You just practiced the skills over and over and over. The goal for an athlete or a dancer is to play the game to win, and it's also to dance on the stage in front of an audience. And they usually do that often, and it creates these moments to make all of those hours and days of practice worth the effort. So do we treat our jobs that way? Are there moments to make it more than just another day of work? What about our students? Are there moments for them as they progress through 4 to 5 years of an undergraduate program, or is it just day after day of class? Let's think about the following. Feel free to comment in the live Q&A. What about job satisfaction? What is important to you about being happy at your job? What keeps you coming back to work every day? Besides the paycheck, of course. I have now been working as an advisor in the Education Advisement Center doing basically the same job description for 11 years. And that's a record for me to be at one job for that long. We get involved at the institution level and the office level. We get further training and education. We seek promotions. We seek new job opportunities. We help others find their paths, create new ways to infuse interest and excitement into our work life. And we give presentations like this. Moments can be a variety of things that are different for each person. I personally like getting recognition. I like to feel like what I do matters. And so how do I create those moments? I can see in the comments, there's accomplishing a goal, there's seeing growth and change. And as student worker, I cherish team chats with boss over donuts. As student worker, I cherish team chats. So that's pretty cool, the chats over donuts. So the Heath brothers in the book Power of Moments talk about breaking the script. You don't have to win a Nobel Prize. We can get goals for set goals for ourselves and as a team. We can monitor, adjust, and see where the needs are and try new things, create some landmarks and experiences. Create moments of pride and feelings of elevation. Remember what Janice was talking about, those 4 elements. What are some of the ways to make more connections with ourselves and with others? This is how we feel motivated to go to work each day. And the research shows that the #1 reason people leave their job is they get no recognition or a feeling of not being appreciated, and they feel invisible.
Tara, if I can just add, we had a couple more comments come in.
Oh, sure.
Connection with people and helping students succeed is one of them. My great colleagues keep me coming back. So important. Thank you for that comment. And the person who wrote about the donuts, thank you, by the way, because I love having donuts with my coworkers or bagels in the morning with them. But they added, now I love meeting with a variety of students, teaching a couple of times each week and one-on-ones with student workers. Thank you for adding that.
We love your feedback. There's a quote in the book, in life, we can work so hard to get the kinks out that we forget to put the peaks in. How do we put those peaks in? Things that are memorable, that make things interesting or happy or a little different, breaking the script. So Janice and I got seriously excited about the possibilities of creating more moments in our work life, not only for ourselves, but for the students that work in our office. But where do we start? We figured that starting with our office and the staff in our office made the most sense, because if we weren't feeling motivated and creating those moments in our own office, how can we do that with our students that we serve? So we started with an employee engagement survey. It was just a generic one. We might have tweaked a few questions so that it applied to an advisement center, but it was just a regular engagement survey for the employees in our office. It was anonymous. We wanted the student workers and the staff, all the staff members in our office to feel like they could say anything and be open to share anything. And we wanted to know where the weaknesses were and what our strengths were. And so then how can we make working in our office better? So questions on the satisfaction on the job with the supervisor, the office culture, the feelings of contribution and connection. We had open-ended questions on top of the multiple choice questions. And some of the open-ended ones were, are there some things that we're doing right? And are there some things that we could improve? And then do you have suggestions for how we can make our advisement center a better place to work? And then also we added how to make it a better place to visit as a student, because our student staff, they have advisement centers that might not be ours. And we wanted to know how they felt about our advisement center and how we treat our students compared to other advisement centers. Our staff was super helpful. The survey showed that we needed to improve in 3 specific areas. One was communication with each other and with our students that we serve. The second one was provide more consistent training. And then the third one was create ways to help our staff feel connected to each other.
Tara,
Yes.
just to kind of add to this, we figured out who our donut guy is, David Lucero. David has stated he appreciates his colleagues giving him smiles and small words of appreciation / praise. So it definitely adds to showing the results of your initial survey. This is something that's really important. Thank you, David.
It is. It really is. And I don't know, some of you advisors probably get that 1 or 2 students a year that maybe send you a thank you card or bring you little thank you tidbit. And I have my little thank you wall that's in my office that I post all of my little thank you cards on there. And it just helps me remember that I do matter, and then I'm helping students and they recognize that I'm helping them. So with the results of our initial survey, let's tell you about the structure of our office. We have 4 tongue-tied, 4 full-time advisors, 1 part-time office assistant, and 10 student staff members. We usually on our student staff have a morning shift and an afternoon shift so that all 10 students are not working at the same time. Back in 2014, we took a KSU advising course that helped us to develop a mission statement of values, list of values, outcomes, and objectives for our office. And we never did anything with them. They just kind of got turned in as an assignment, and then we didn't do anything with them. And then we did not have a mission statement posted in our office anywhere, not in the lobby, nowhere. Our staff never even knew we had a mission statement and what the mission statement was. So on our survey, 1 student actually responded that she never even knew we had a mission, so she had no idea what our mission was. So we had students working here that didn't know what our actual purpose was. Our student satisfaction survey would come back with comments about inconsistent information between students, staff, and advisors. So that had to do with training. And our students, the survey would come back with comments about, I said that one. While our current training model for student staff had improved since 2014, we were still struggling to ensure that training was consistent and accurate across all employees in our office. And as changes would come from departments for the majors that we advise students for, or from BYU, the overall university, or we have to answer for state and accreditation for teacher licensing. So we answer to a lot of entities for our majors. The information would not get all to the staff. And so then information was not being shared with the students that we serve. So our staff did not have all the information that they needed to best serve the students that visit our office. Our student staff also did not feel recognized or even appreciated for the important work that they were doing for our office and for our students. So these were the things that we decided to focus on as we started implementing ways to create powerful moments in our advising. So in the book, it said, not every meeting needs to be a defining moment, but once every 5 to 10 meetings, find a way to break the script, so make it a little different. So in our office, we would have before we implemented anything, we would have 1 big meeting before the semester started to update students on anything that was going on that changed from the prior semester. And we'd call it a training day. And in that training, it was just too much for 1 day. And then it wasn't frequent enough for the students to remember all the information anyway. So we didn't feel like things were getting communicated properly. And the students weren't able to, the staff wasn't able to perform and remember all that material. So with our mission statement, we now have a mission, well, we had a mission statement. We chose to keep it because it gave us a starting point. And we know that it needs to be worked on, but we're mostly now trying to to focus on a purpose statement, and we'll talk more about that. But after I read the book during the summer of 2018, the advisors in our office began discussing ways that we could improve our 3 areas. So before fall of 2018, we had our mission statement printed out and framed and put on every wall in each office and in the lobby. And then we had a training meeting before the semester started to really go over the mission statement and why we need to focus on that and make sure we understand what it means. So we had all of our staff involved with that. And then we're currently working as a staff to develop a purpose statement because we felt like a purpose statement really fit more of what our office does and what we're trying to implement. So it will also help focus our mission statement further by getting a purpose statement. It's in the works. It's not finalized yet, but we're really close. And we've had all the staff involved in creating this purpose statement. We feel that the process has been a great learning experience for our students, for our staff members, as well as satisfying for the permanent staff. And we've also decided to reevaluate the job titles in our office. We felt like using the word student as a student staff before the job title didn't really give the most positive feel or necessary acknowledgement to our staff members. So we're all just staff members now. So we have staff, front desk staff, staff assistants, advising assistants, and we tried to take the student out. So this is our current mission statement that we did in 2014. It's a little wordy, but it does get the message across of what we're trying to do. And so we took the mission statement and decided to start looking at a purpose statement. And we had a member of our staff go to the Disney Academy, and they talked about the difference between the mission and the purpose statement. And it really narrows down to the mission statement being what we do versus the purpose statement being why we do it. And so we wanted to really focus on why we do what we do. And so that was focusing on our mission statement and making sure our students understood our mission and our purpose. And share any experiences that you've had in your office where you've come up with the mission statement or purpose statement and how that maybe helped focus your office in a better way. The next category, remember, we have 3 areas of things that we need to work on. So we're now going to be working on lack of communication and what we needed to do to fix that. So we've implemented a monthly training lunch where all staff is expected to go. And we're lucky because at our university, everything shuts down for basically a devotional, a religion devotional, from noon, from 11 to 12 on Tuesdays. So that makes it hard for the class schedules to have a Tuesday, Thursday class during 11 to 12. So there's not a lot of classes offered on our campus at all during Thursdays, 11 to 12. So we put our meeting on one Thursday, 11 to 12 each month. And in that meeting, we'll have a lunch. It will be potluck, or we'll provide it, just the advisors bring it, and then the student staff come. And so that once a month, we do recognition, we do get to know each other, we talk about things that have been coming up, issues, and so that's a once a month. We also established a once a week staff meeting where the student staff meet with the supervisor of our office plus the office assistant, and they go over little things and maybe spotlight certain training items. So we went from a once a semester meeting to a monthly full staff and a weekly student staff. Developing the new training model was the next thing. We wanted to figure out how to train our students that would provide them with the pride, elevation, insight, and connection So we began using Slack software for inter-office communication. Let us know what you guys use on your comments. We post changes in our programs and any important training information. If the computer system goes down for the university, we help notify each other. If we're going to call in sick, we communicate by being sick or late. We can let everybody know what's going on. So that communication setup has really helped in our office. So inconsistent training. So we created a new training program. We call it the Power Up Training Blocks, and we'll show you more details about that. We also have the different meetings, recognitions and rewards for completing training blocks. So they have immediate, monthly, and weekly recognition with annual performance reviews. So this is what our training box looks like. Kind of looks like a bingo card. It's very colorful. It used to be even more rainbow colored, but we decided to put it in priority categories. And so that's what the colors are for. Each box is a skill that we want our students to be able to do here in our office. And for each box or each block, there is a file on our training, in our training computer file, where the students could go in, they pull that skill, that block, and then they have like a questionnaire, like a worksheet that they fill out. And that could be interviewing somebody, that could be talking to somebody, that could be researching something online, that could be reading information, that could be practicing it. And so they work on the worksheet, and when it's all done, they get it signed off by a supervisor or an advisor. Each
Hey,
block,
Tara.
okay,
Oh.
yes.
Just a quick interjection here. So some of our attendees have contributed to the chat box.
Cool.
And so some folks are saying that they're using Slack. The BYU donut guy, aka David, he's stating that BYU uses Slack regularly. I love Slack, by the way. Microsoft Teams comes up a couple times as well. I love both of them. BT dubs. Thanks, guys.
I could see where David also commented about our areas all contributing to new vision and mission statements, good bonding. I think we actually remember and use this new one. So we have staff members that work on completing the blocks, and each block is a skill that they need to know how to do in our office. As they complete a block, then they can be asked to help train another person on that same block because they've finished it. So that kind of leads to leadership and connectedness between our staff members. It's self-motivated, self-driven. Recognition for each individual block completion is a gold star. You can't tell we're teachers. Verified by an advisor or an office assistant, we track the blocks that are completed. And then after 5 blocks, there's a power up recognition reward box that we have in our office where the staff member can go pick out however many. If they got 5 blocks, they get 1. If they get 10 blocks, they get 2. And they could just pick out certain recognition. Sometimes it's a treat, sometimes it's an item. We asked our student staff what kind of things they like to pull out of the box. And they said snacks and plants and chapstick and gum and stuff like that. So they get a little something, and I think all of them have a little quote on there thanking them for all their hard work. And so then if they finish all the blocks within an academic year, then we have a gift card that they're awarded at one of the monthly lunch meetings. And we share how everyone progressed at the monthly meeting because everybody's there. If they got 5 or 10, we say how many blocks. And there's a contest for the one that got the most blocks done in a month. And so lots of little different recognitions and rewards built into our training. and kind of makes it self-motivating. And they know that the more blocks that they finish, the more skills they have to help our students and to help the advising staff, because they're helping so that we can advise more students. So training blocks and guidelines. I think we covered most of this. You could kind of skim through it really fast. But they're recognized really often, weekly and monthly. So we've created these landmarks for training instead of it being training after training after training, or just one big bulk training day and then they're supposed to remember everything forever. So it's really helped. A lot of the feedback we're getting from the students, staff, is that this was a game changer. It really did help. And we have to update it every year because things change, and like we use different software, different programs on our computer, so they have to learn different stuff. So remember that the purpose is not only to provide consistent training, but to provide recognition to our staff and create moments for them to break the script for their everyday workday. So we have a monthly service volume award. You can see they're holding tennis rackets. So we called it service volume, service. So we track the number of students we serve individually and as an office. And so think about the school library tracking how many books have been read, lined up around the wall. So that's what we do each month. How many students did we serve in our office, and how many students were served by each person? And the one that served the most, and we broke it up by areas in the office. So there was the front staff, front office staff, student assistants, and then advisors. And so our our most recent employee engagement survey showed that we've made significant changes in those three areas, but especially in our training and our communication. Okay, so motivated and invested, immediate weekly recognition. We made birthdays a special event for students. And then we decorate the office for holidays and events and seasons. We have the first day experience and a last day farewell, and staff participation in office policies, mission and purpose, employee engagement survey, and then at the end of every semester. So you can see we dressed up for Halloween. We decorated our lobby wall, which is like all glass. And then we have in our training room a big whiteboard. And so if we have a new student or a new employee come on board, we welcome them. We put our announcements on there for like their monthly meetings and so forth. So the first day experience was something we were really excited about, because if you look at the three pictures, your first day on the job, share first day of job experiences on the chat. I really want to see some of your first day experiences, because I can tell you I've had all three of these. If you look at the SpongeBob, first day at the new job, I have no idea what I'm doing. And then the second one is, I don't know if I should be doing anything, and at this point I'm afraid to ask. And then the last one is first day of work, already everybody loves me. So we wanted to create a first day experience that had purpose, had recognition, it appealed to the four elements. So we created a gift bag of swag and goodies. So they get their BYU shirt, they get some candy, they get some things like a survival kit for the first day on the job. And then we have welcome signs throughout the office and notices, and we inform all of the current staff of a new person coming on board and what their name is. And then we schedule their actual day. So we have a social where we bring treats. It could be a morning one or an afternoon one. But we have a social where we welcome them and we kind of introduce each other to the new person. And then there's a meeting schedule with the supervisor of our office, and then with the office assistant, and then a scheduled plan for the day. We schedule a tour of the building and introductions to important people in our building. And then we have an orientation meeting with the staff member to go over what we do, everything that happens in our office, so that they kind of have the overview with the mission and the purpose, and then what we do. We advise students in what majors we do and all of the details of our office. So occasionally, remarkable moments shouldn't be left to chance. They should be planned for, invested in. They are peaks that should be built. And if we fail to do that, look at what we're left with, mostly forgettable. So we don't want the first day here or the last day here to be forgettable. We want it to be something special.
Okay, so after a year of implementing phase 1 and focusing on our office and improving our office culture, we were ready to begin phase 2, which was a focus on the students that we serve. So what things do you remember about your college days? I don't know if you probably, this is a picture of me with my roommates, and I had just found out some really exciting news, and I was really excited, and you can see, and I think one of my roommates said something funny, because we're all laughing. But anyway, these are the moments in college that we remember. So how can we create these powerful and memorable moments for the students we advise? You know, what are some simple things that you can do as an advisor that would make a difference for your students? And how can we make coming to our advisement centers a more memorable experience? So we had a full staff meeting or retreat to brainstorm ideas of what phase 2 might look like. And here's a quote from the book. To exceed customer expectations and create a memorable experience, you need the behavioral and interpersonal parts of the service. You need the element of pleasant surprise. So the first thing we did is we tried to identify significant milestones in the programs for of the students that we advise for. So, and these are kind of the milestones that we came up with. We have first day or first, like our new student orientation every year. We wanted to make the academic, like when we meet with students who are on an academic improvement plan that might be struggling at school and in college, you know, we wanted to make that a little bit more meaningful for our students. So we looked at that. We also, you know, a major moment for students is when they finally choose a major and they're admitted to their program. And then in our programs, in our teaching programs, another major milestone is practicum or practice semesters, meaning when they're out in the schools and it's their first opportunity to stand up in front of 25 8-year-olds, you know, like what does that feel like? And that's a big moment, you know, for them. And then when they're at the end of their program, you know, their capstone experience, which is either student teaching or internship, that final experience when they're kind of independently teaching all the lessons every day, and then graduation. So these are the milestones that we came up with for the students in our program. So what did we want to do for these landmark moments? So we just brainstormed. Now, obviously, budget was kind of a major hurdle because we'd never done anything that would require any type of a major budgetary allotment. So, because we serve a lot of students, you know, and so ultimately, so we just started meeting with a ton of people. We met with recruitment and retention, and eventually we sat down with the associate dean in our college and told her our ideas and our plans, and she loved it, and she was 100% on board. And so we submitted a proposal for our budget, and we kept it really small, like $1 to $2 per student. But then once the associate dean saw what we were trying to do and she was on board, our budget got a lot bigger. And so, and then we'll show you kind of what that kind of turned into. And I've got just a few minutes. So new student orientation. This was totally revamped and planned with the intention of being more interactive and fun and encouraging and exciting. You know, this is their students' first days on BYU's campus, and we wanted to add to that moment and make it memorable for them. And full of energy and excitement. And recruitment here at UAA does a really good job with our new student orientation, or at least recruitment here in the McKay School. And so these are some pictures from our new student orientation. So the first kind of major milestone for our students is when they choose their major and choose a career path. And so we created these welcome to the program gifts, like you've been admitted to the program, and it's just some chocolate and a highlighter and some BYU McKay School stickers. You can see that picture on the right. And then one of the things that the Associate Dean wanted or suggested was that we create McKay School t-shirts. And so we had like a t-shirt creation contest amongst our students, and they came up with the design. And so now everybody in the McKay School on Mondays wears their McKay School t-shirts for McKay Mondays. So when the students are admitted to the program, we send them an email and an invitation to stop by our office to pick up their little gift and their t-shirts. Okay. And then the next major milestone for our students is their practicum semesters, or when they're out in the schools and they're kind of just practice, like their first opportunity to teach some lessons to a whole class or to small groups. And our students have 2 practicum semesters prior to student teaching. And this, you'll see down here, this McKay School polo shirt that one of our students, Kate, is wearing. This is again, our students, when they're out in the schools during practicum, they are to wear this nice McKay School polo. And so this was our gift to them prior to starting practicum. And they wear this on Mondays when they're out in the schools for McKay Mondays. But again, it's that moment of you're ready to go and be in a classroom, and here's this to remember it by. The next one, next little big milestone for our students and their programs is they're ready to teach. So when students come in and submit their student teaching application, they actually have to come in and meet with their advisor. And it's really fun because, you know, these are students you've worked with for 2-3 years, and that they're at the end of their program. And it was so fun to sit down with them and at this moment and say, hey, I've got something for you. And so here's our little gift to you. In our little gift bag, there was a dry erase marker, a wristband keychain, some chocolate, and some teacher stickers like, nice job, and you're awesome, you know, that kind of thing. And then the Associate Dean, again, this is what her suggestion was, we threw in every student that is student teaching, before they student teach or intern, we give them this McKay School, I call it a teacher bag. It's just a ginormous bag that will fit everything. So they're tote bags. So anyway, that's our Ready to Teach bag, and that's our other major milestone for our students. So this is how these are just a few examples of how we've created powerful moments to kind of mark these important milestones for our students in their degree program. I'm going to turn the time over to Tara, but we're kind of out of time.
So in just the last breathing room, get with your team, get with your coworkers, get with your family. Janice even implemented some of this stuff with her family just to make special, you know, moments, landmarks that could be a little more special than what we've maybe normally done in the past. It doesn't have to cost a lot. It doesn't have to be, like I said, the Nobel Prize, but it could be something that just helps someone feel appreciated, recognized, and it's not even a participation ribbon, you know, where people talk about the participation trophy, but it kind of takes it a step up past that. And we would love your feedback. Here's our contact information. I totally encourage you to read the book. It's a fun read. I read it, I think, very fast. And then I read it a second time because I wanted to mark it all up. So if you looked at my Power Moments book, it has little sticky notes and tabs and marking and highlights all over it, because it was just so full of motivational stuff. And who couldn't use some more happy, some more positive, some more feedback as we're going through our everyday practice and work life. So thanks for participating with us. Thanks for joining us. And we'd love to see your feedback. And if you have questions for us, feel free to contact us.
Thank you, Janice and Tara. As a reminder, we do have the keynote speaker coming up at 1 o'clock. Be sure to click on the link for that so that you can view the final notes. Oh, we're also going to be awarding Advisor of the Year, I believe, during the final hour of the conference. Thanks, everyone.